What I'm about to say is going to cause many people to unsubscribe. Brat Summer, I formed the resistance against Charli XCX. We're coming with our own summer next. Brown Summer? No, that doesn't sound great. Charli, I'll get back to you. I keep using the word resistance. I'm not forming any kind of movement, I'm just nervous. Rough and reggae, that's what I give off. The sexiest thing I could do is slick up the ends of my eyebrows into 2 points. When people who are not my race send me a brown thumbs up, what does that mean? Hey, my name is Munya Chawawa, and this is the Vibe Check with Cosmopolitan UK. If I had a bio that followed me around, it would say, weird guy, good heart. Because I don't think I'm weird, but then I just say things out loud and people look at me like I'm an alien species. So, weird guy, good heart, I'll take it. All right, so I'll give you an example. I was saying to someone the other day, do you know how to measure 180 degrees if you don't have an oven, right? Basically, if there was a fire, let's say you were stranded in Antarctica and you wanted to cook some lamb, okay? This is a weird example, but the distance from which you can only hold your hands 3 seconds before having to move it from the flame is 180 degrees. So if you were stranded, count to 3 with your hand and then cook the lamb from that position. And I only know this because I watch Antarctic survival videos to unwind before bed every night. And apparently, that's weird. I love all of my sketches, not in an egotistical way, but more so just, I just love making sketch. And I love it when an idea just, it like reaches a corner of the world that you would never expect it to. For example, I made a sketch about Duolingo, which I have a deep internal beef with. The way that that owl has tormented me across my life, not cool. So I thought, you know what? I've got some smoke for Duolingo. I made the sketch. Next thing I know, Viola Davies posted it on her feed. Like, how crazy is that? Also, fun fact, I stopped Duolingo after that sketch. I had a 420-day streak and Viola gave me the power to break free from those chains. So thank you, Viola. You know, I made a sketch about Brat Summer and my lack of understanding about it. And strangely enough, over the past few weeks, that's the one people have stopped me most about. Our general lack of knowledge about Brat Summer. We are the resistance. I formed the resistance against Charli XCX. And we're coming with our own summer next summer, which is called, I guess, Brown Summer? No, that doesn't sound great. Okay, Charli, I'll get back to you. Is there a, let me think, yes. I remember one sketch that absolutely bombed was at the time that Eddie Hearn, the boxing promoter, was everywhere. This guy was in every meme going. And it collided with this huge surge in like climate change messaging where everyone was like, okay guys, we're actually gonna just be floating on a shard of ice in like 5 years. So I was like, cool, what if I combine Eddie Hearn memes into spoken word poetry, combine it with climate change visuals? This is gonna go off. Everyone's gonna be like, whoa, he used humor and now he saved the planet and now polar bears are actually reproducing more. The rhinos come back from extinction. Put it out, no one cared about it. No one cared about the planet. So look, when we're all on Mars, yeah, sharing a Twix between 500 people, don't blame me. I tried to stop this, me and Eddie Hearn. He didn't know, but he was part of the resistance. I keep using the word resistance. Listen, I'm not forming any kind of movement, I'm just nervous. So one of my biggest videos ever was a Shaggy parody of Matt Hancock. And this was at the time when we were all in lockdown. They were like, guys, don't go outside or we will arrest you for 70,000 years. And then it transpired that Hancock was just clapping cheeks the whole time, allegedly, right? So I made this sketch, it's gone everywhere. People are referencing it to me all over. And then the Brit Awards the following year comes around. I'm leaving the Brit Awards and I'm stood on the escalator and I look around and Matt Hancock is behind me on the escalator. Let me tell you something. That man's breath was on the back of my neck. Listen to what I'm saying. His breath was on the back of my neck. I felt his breath go on my neck, down my spine, potentially near the ass crack area. That's not what I planned for that night. People always say, oh man, you should have taken a selfie with him. That would have been a full circle moment. And you know what I said? I don't take dick pics. My cocktail of choice is an espresso martini, decaf, because I've never tried any drugs. I've never smoked, I've never done anything unless you count inhaler. The OG vaping inhaler gang. But when I have a cocktail, I do have decaf because caffeine makes me nuts. You know, like back in the day when you'd have like a Happy Meal party when you were a kid and you'd literally be running around headbutting the walls. That's the effect caffeine has on me. So I know the point of an espresso martini is to have caffeine, but I go with the PG version. When they do that thing where they got the 3 coffee beans and just this perfect trifecta of taste, I'm sold. If I see the 3 coffee beans, I will depart with any amount of money to get that inside me. The secret to great eyebrows is to just let them do their thing. Because I have learned to love my eyebrows through trying to correct them, right? So year 9, I remember people were saying, yo, your eyebrows are kind of big, you know. This is just the start of a long, arduous journey of bullying. And so I thought, you know what? All I need to do is just shave them. I didn't know that you need to shave an arc into your eyebrows. So what I did is I just went straight across. You could have literally laid a spirit level across my eyebrows and it would have been a perfect 0. So when I came into school, everyone was like, yo, why are your eyebrows so straight? I'm thinking, I thought they were meant to be straight. So I had to wait for them to grow out. Another time, there was this girl that I fancied when I used to do judo, and for some reason I thought the sexiest thing I could do was to slick up the ends of my eyebrows into 2 points, right? I look like, for anyone who's ever played Tekken, I look like a character called Jin Kazama. Ladies, you tell me, is it sexy if a man turns up with 2 prongs either side of his eyebrows? Let me know in the comments, because if so, I'm bringing it back. If you want to find me on a Friday night, this is going to sound crazy, but I will probably be in the theatre. I love the theatre, for real. Like West End in London does not play. I've seen Lion King twice. Matilda slaps. Do you know what I mean? Look, I know what my appearance gives off. It gives off, you know, proper king of the streets, yeah? Tough guy, rough and reggae, yeah? Rough and reggae, that's what I give off. Bro, I'll be in the theatre singing along to Matilda. And you know what's so funny? I took a friend once to see Matilda and they weren't accustomed to how high value they go with production. So you know Miss Trunchbull swings the lady around, the girl around with her pigtails? In the production, they have a doll fall from the roof. So when we got to the interview, my friend was like, bro, this is unreal, you know? Like, how did they manage to get a child to fall from the roof? I was like, my guy, they're not throwing children from the ceiling every night, okay? The theatre's magic, not that magic. Would I rather be heckled or receive complete silence? Bro, I'm going complete silence every time. I'm so awkward that if someone heckled me, I would malfunction. My small talk is so bad. Like, you try and heckle me now.
Munya! Great eyebrows.
Thank you. That's all I got. That's literally all I got. Thank you, and please leave me alone. Silence every time. I have never been heckled, but I have had multiple complete silences. When I do panel shows, for some reason, it's like maybe I'm speaking a different language without hearing my own voice, because I've been on panel shows before where everyone has been snowballing a joke, so everyone's been feeding into a joke. And I've then made my contribution and everyone has just been silent. Actually, I have a really good story for you about a moment that there was complete silence. I used to work in schools. I used to do these seminars for schools, like these motivational talks. It was like an early presenter job I did. It was an Australian company and their sense of humour is quite different from Britain. So what they would do is we were trying to debunk myths about the top students. And the idea was, you know, not all top students are geeks. Some of them have hot mums. That was a joke written into my script. So I remember being like, cool, this is my job, I just have to say it. Went into a school, dropped the joke, a child on the front row literally half vomited and the rest of the room was silent. Worst ever stand-up moment. The most Munya thing to ever happen to me. First, we should establish what Munya thing is. A Munya thing usually is doing something, namely a prank, and instantly regretting every decision I've ever made and panicking that my life is about to come crashing down. So I think the best example I have is when I was a kid, my dad took us into the office at the weekend because he needed to do some work, and I thought it would be hilarious to write a love letter from one of his colleagues to another and then slip it underneath the door. As we're getting ready to leave, I realise if I do this, I may well disappear from the face of the earth within a week. And so my sister had to hoist me through the windows of this lady's office into her office. I had to grab the love letter and then climb back out of the window. My dad never found out any of this, and even thinking about it right now, my bumhole is clenched in ways that are inhuman. What I'm about to say is going to cause many people to unsubscribe. When I make a cup of tea, this is what I like to do. I put the milk in first, then I put in sugar, then I make it into a paste, yeah? We're verging towards ice cream. Then the tea bag goes in, hot water goes in, tea bag stays in. I know you're all gonna be kicking off about this going, oh, what's wrong with him? He should be locked up, all right? I've heard it all before. Try it, then come back to me. And it has to be a decaf tea bag. I get stopped quite a lot now, I think, and it's because, you know, the videos, I like to think you spread far and wide, so there's something for everyone. So I get stopped by mums, whatnot. People often nearly run me off the road, which isn't intentional. I think they're trying to take a photo whilst driving next to me, but they kind of end up driving me into the pavement. I had a guy once try to take a selfie at a urinal. And then when I complained about this, he thought I was complaining about the fact that he wasn't using a filter. So then he put the licky dog filter on and then tried to take a urinal selfie. Even worse. One really weird thing is, once I wore crochet and somebody commented, the MILFs for Munya are loving this. And I thought, I have not heard about this fan group. Does it exist? And who's in it? I would love to know who's in that group. Trust me, I put this emoji on the map. My most used emoji is this, the salute. If someone says, Munya, we need to get this in by da-da-da, Munya, you need to be here at this time, you send this, it's not passive aggressive, it's like, I've got you. Trust me, send that emoji and you'll feel like a boss. None of this crying, laughing face stuff. Don't ever do the yellow thumbs up, man. That's just passive aggressive. My weirdest thing is when people, who are not my race send me a brown thumbs up. I'm like, what does that mean? Am I meant to be offended by this, Malcolm? There's loads of people I want to collaborate with, but I have semi-retired the Nigella character. I will bring it back for special occasions, but I would love to do a Nigella collab, obviously. In terms of my sort of idols, I don't have tons of comedy idols. Obviously, I'd love to work with Trevor Noah. What do I think about hard launching a relationship? I mean, I'm from the era where you would be on Facebook being like, me and Becky are in a relationship and there's nothing you can do about it. Sort of miss those days, actually. It was quite nice, wasn't it? You'd have people like celebrating their engagement on the 15th of April. Been together since year 10, it's now year 11. Love you, babe, for life. What are you up to? I do miss those days. Hard launching, but I think just, you know what? Just keep it on the low key. Do you know what I mean? Announcing relationships on Facebook was the golden era, and I do kind of miss it. Do you know what? It's gonna have to be donut time. Donut time. I have an addiction to donuts. Once I actually got in trouble at work because I kept disappearing under my desk, and my boss like stormed over and moved my head and pulled open the desk, and there was just half-eaten donuts in there. It used to be like a little donut squirrel hibernating away. I don't know why I was so ashamed of it. I think it's because, you know, I like to train, I like to keep healthy, but donuts are my kryptonite. Getting a disciplinary over donuts was a low point in my career for sure. I don't eat tons of donuts per sitting. One tends to be enough now because they are really sweet, but I think if you push me, I could probably eat 2. Whoa, this guy's crazy. Oh, look, what an absolute madman. Yeah, 2 in a day is enough. I think that screen time is needlessly aggressive, if I'm being real with you, because my phone screen time is very high. But you know what I'd say to screen time back? Yeah, what if I'm playing chess? That's the side you don't see. What about when I'm on dictionary.com learning words like scrofulous or diatribe, yeah? You're trying to shame me with my screen time being like, oh, you're doom scrolling, it's brain rot. I'm actually learning stuff. Do you know how to win a game of chess in 3 moves? No, you don't. I'm not directing you, the audience, I'm talking like to my phone. Sorry, that came across needlessly aggressive. I'm sure you do know how to win chess in 3 games. How many hours do I spend on my phone a day? Probably about, I spend about 5 hours on my phone a day, according to my phone. I think it's actually more like half an hour. Also, if I am on my phone, I'm doing research for sketches. It's all work purposes. Having a December birthday is a blessing and a curse. On the one hand, everyone's chilling, so it's a very happy time of year. However, no one has the mental strength to celebrate your birthday after Christmas. We're all tired from work. No one wants to pop round and give you a little card. I actually did try and change my birthday once to 29th of June, and I changed it on Facebook and everything. And then on the 30th of June, I actually had forgotten I changed it, so I missed my own birthday. So now I go back to December. Wouldn't it be an awful shame if another December went by and I got no gifts from anyone and no one remembered? Gee, if only someone could remember the 29th of December. That would be wonderful. I would rather never cook again. Not because I'm a bad cook, not because I don't like cooking, I love cooking, but it would mean I would never have another sticky toffee pudding. Something people don't know about me is I am the sticky toffee whisperer. That sounds weirdly sexual, but it's not, okay? I love sticky toffee pudding. I actually do sticky toffee reviews on my Instagram. I want to get to the end of my life and know that I filled it with as many sticky toffee puddings as possible. I encountered all types of breed. Sometimes you have it with ice cream, sometimes you have it with custard, sometimes you have it with cream, sometimes you put a little kumquat on the top. I want it all. So I would rather never cook again if it meant I could be one step closer to my sticky toffee dream. The best sticky toffee pudding so far, it's all up for grabs, is the Plough in Dulwich. I had it after a roast. It was insane. The plow. It's not a position, it's a place. First time I went really viral was when I did a parody of Jamie Oliver. I pretended to be his cousin, Johnny Oliver, and this was just after the jerk rice scandal where he had released this packet rice and said, this was the Caribbean in a packet. It was actually a couple of baked beans and gravy and some rice, and I basically embodied his character and did a spoof recipe. And you can tell it's a video from so long ago because I didn't have a proper barber at that time. I literally went into an arcade and there was a guy with some clippers and he was like, do you want me to cut your hair? And I was like, yeah. So in this in this video, my head is literally a pyramid. That was the moment where journalists were retweeting it, blue ticks were retweeting it. They had like 1,000 comments and I was so overwhelmed because I remember going to sleep the night before and it was on 30 comments and I was like, wow, I've made it, 30 comments, it's brilliant. Woke up the next day, it was like 1,000 comments. And that is when I said to myself, I think there could be something in this. If I just keep making sketches, I think something good will come from life. And lo and behold, here I am, sat on an uncomfortable stool, talking about my addiction to sticky toffee puddings. I nearly said stiffy toffee puddings. Freudian slip of the highest order. What I'm most excited for right now is, you know, my documentary, obviously. It's so cool to be able to explore North Korea, and Kim Jong-un, which is this thing that, you know, fills us with fear a lot of the time. A lot of us have apocalypse anxiety where we think the world's going to end. So kind of bringing people closure to that is going to be really great. I just get excited about life every day because if there's anything my videos have taught me is that your life can change in a single moment. And for me, I always think every time I drop a video, it could change my life because you just never know who's going to see it. You know, through doing my videos, I've been able to, you know, I've been in a Netflix series, I've acted in a Netflix series, I've had 2 BAFTA nominated TV shows, I've made shows for Radio 4, there's so much cool stuff that I never thought would come from 60-second sketches from my crazy brain. So I just get excited every single day. A lot of the time I hate going to bed because I'm so excited for the next morning. I think what I'm saying is, I'm a child. Thank you for watching and make sure you check out my documentary, How to Survive a Dictator, North Korea on Channel 4.